Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. At kung bago ka sa channel na to, I'm Za and this is Za Canada. Today, we have another topic na pag-uusapan when it comes to Canada's population. There is a current debate right now, online, and ang nangyayari sa government na Canada's working age population is shrinking, nababawasan. Anong nangyayari? Nangiwawala ang mga workers. Pag nawawala ang mga workers, nawawala ang mga nagtatrabaho, may consequences yan sa government. At yan ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Panoorin hanggang dulo. Well, thank you so much for subscribing into my channel lately. At kung hindi pa, mag-subscribe na kayo. And in my channel, I talk about immigration updates and things na nangyayari sa kapwa natin Pilipino na naninirahan dito sa Canada. And today, ang episode natin is, dapat bang near zero immigration na lang ang plano ng Canada or dapat i-rethink ang strategy? So let's unpack this. Ano ba talaga ang nangyayari? So, Canada's working age population. So, mga tao ito na age 15 to 64 na these are the growing wall, okay? Data show population growth slowed sharply. Pabagal ng pabagal. So, partly because immigration was cut and temporary residents are leaving. Which means na napakadami na nga Pilipino or mga iba't ibang lahi na umuwi sa Canada. So, in fact, the population rate dropped to almost zero, the slowest in decades. Even as birth rate stay low, that means Canada's workforce may shrink soon unless something changes. Ano ba nangyayari? Which means na since kumonti nga ang mga immigrant dito sa Canada, kumonti din yung birth rate. Diba? Kumonti rin yung mga tao na yun nga, yung mga nagkakaanak. So, ano bang ibig sabihin yan? Kung oonti yung population ng mga tao, anong mangyayari sa mga susunod na henerasyon? And bago pa yan, ano ba talaga nangyayari? So Canada used to welcome a ton of immigrants, permanent and temporary, just like students and workers. Nowadays, the government has cut targets, especially temporary residents, to ease pressure on housing and services. And why? Because rapid population growth, over 3% per year. Napakadami naman talaga na dumating na sobra-sobra sa quota na ibinigay noon ni government para sa mga immigrant. So, there were stress in housing, hospitals, and schools. And some economics say this correction is reasonable for a few years, but enough ba siya? Enough ba yung nangyayari na ganyan? Enough ba yung pagkakat nila ng immigration or too much? So let's see the both sides. So the first thing that we can talk about is first, proponents of low or near zero population growth argue it can cool down immigration or it can cool down housing prices and rental cost. Kasi nga, pag wala masyadong tao na dumarating or pumapasok sa Canada or walang masyadong syempre, walang mga tao na nagtatrabaho or nag-aaral, nag-a-apply ng mga student permit, which means na fewer people compete for houses. Walang mga tao or walang tao na magrerenta or bibili ng bahay. So, less stress on public services like hospitals and schools. If kukunti ang tao, mas maa-attendan yung mga tao na pumupunta sa ospital. And better planning, steady growth, and fewer surprises. And they argue that we don't need big population jumps without first fixing houses in infrastructure, which is true. So we have to make sure that before we invite a lot of immigrants again, or before Canada invites, not we, before Canada invite a lot of immigrants again, or a lot of people from different countries, then they have to make sure that the housing crisis, services, and infrastructure are already fixed. Okay? Pero bakit ba marami talagang kumukontra na kontian ang immigration? Ano ba talaga ang nangyayari? First, Canada's working age population is shrinking. Ang oonti ng mga tao na nasa working age. That means fewer workers supporting retirees and fewer taxpayers to fund services. Siyempre, kapag kukunti ang mga tao nagtatrabaho, then there are mas less in tax, and at the same time, mas less yung pondo ng gobyerno na ilalaan para dun sa mga hospital, education. So alam naman natin na yan ang main reason kung bakit pinipili ng mga ibang tao na mag-settle dito sa Canada dahil sa magandang healthcare and education system. Next, may rural towns are losing its population even while cities still need workers. So which means na kapag nag-shrink ang population ng Canada, rural communities will lose its people, and at the same time, those cities mawawalan sila ng worker. So ano mangyayari? 'Di ba? Alam naman natin na kapag nawala yung mga tao, then businesses might close. And when business close, then there will be no economic development for that particular rural, and at the same time, mawawalan ng tax or mawawalan ng benefits yung mga tao na nakatira doon. Next, immigration, especially young skilled workers, helps keep workforce going and fill job shortages in healthcare, construction, technology, etc. Diba? Alam naman natin na immigration help fill the gaps sa mga skilled na mga trabaho. Just like in healthcare, construction, technology, education. Kung makikita nyo yung express entry category-based selection, bakit nila ginawa yan? Kasi dyan nila nakikita na napakadaming gaps or napakadaming PR or Canadian citizen na hindi masyadong nakukuha yung job opportunity na yan. And once again, let's talk about the labor shortages. Labor market should still face shortages. Canada's economy needs workers, especially in sectors like construction, healthcare, caregiving, and IT. Immigration has been a big part of workforce growth for years, sometimes up to 80% of labor force gains. Okay? Some analysis say that without immigrants, kung mawawala yung mga immigrants, Canada could face tighter labor markets, slowed economic growth, and fewer services for seniors. So this decision isn't just about numbers, it affects jobs, taxes, and long-term stability. So imagine niyo, kung kukonti yung mga tao na magtatrabaho sa isang bansa, then definitely kukonti rin yung mga tao na magbabayad ng tax at kukonti ang magiging benefits ng mga free services na ibinibigay ng Canada. And so ano ba talaga sa tingin ko? Ano ba ang talagang pwedeng gawin ng Canada? Personally, I think Canada should calibrate carefully. So kailangan i-calibrate ng mabuti kung ano ang nangyayari sa immigration ngayon. So hindi dapat extreme zero population or zero immigration. Pero hindi rin reckless, open borders. Siyempre, hindi man dapat agad-agad i-open sa lahat ng bansa or maging tanggap na lang ng tanggap, di ba? So we need a strategy, or Canadian immigration need a strategy. Support housing supply before massive growth. So if you have seen my previous vlog, you have to make sure that workers that are being placed in this country have a place, or student visa, or those people who are applying for student permit, make sure that they have a house where they can go to. Kung wala, then they have to consider target skilled workers where jobs need them, diba? So make sure that those people who are already here in Canada are also being given opportunity to get a status. Kasi minsan sa sobrang di kasi minsan naiisip, napapansin ko lang. Di kasi minsan naiisip na there are a lot of workers that are already here currently and contributing to this economy that are not being given equal share or equal opportunity, at mas nabibigyan pa ng opportunity yung mga tao na nasa labas ng bansa. Next, helps with rural area population decline. So, we have to think of stronger measures. Kasi minsan, there are people that as soon as they get their PR, or as soon as they get their permanent residence in that particular country or in that particular location, they move out, and then paulit-ulit lang nangyayari. So I guess if the immigration will actually place an stricter measure when it comes to those people who live that particular city or state, then siguro walang masyadong population decline na mangyayari. And at the same time, walang population growth na mangyayari dun sa mga city. And if walang masyadong population growth na mangyayari dun sa city, then there will be fewer housing crises. And next is balanced services and inclusion. Because, again, we do need workers, especially younger ones, and immigration has helped Canada's economy for decades. Canada's immigration has helped its economies for decades. So, what do you think about this video? So, if you have any comment to my video, should Canada rethink its immigration limits? Kailangan ba limitahan ng immigration or ng Canada ang kanilang immigration? Or keep it low until housing and services are fixed? Comment below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe into my channel. At laging tatandaan, hindi kailangan maraming pera, basta may peace of mind. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.